Hi there, welcome to the Golf Shack down here at Moor Allerton Golf Club in Leeds. A little bit of testing today, more aimed at your mid to high handicappers. That's why, sorry, you've got me going to be doing some hitting for you today. We've got some Callaway irons and Callaway hybrids. I've got the Big Bertha OS 7 iron, I've got the Big Bertha OS hybrid here. I've also got the Callaway XR Steelhead 7 iron and XR Steelhead hybrid. The reason why I'm hitting all these together is because I think these clubs are kind of sitting possibly in that range between you know, you sort of maybe sort of 15 to 18 handicap. You know, what's going to be best to me? Is it going to be the Big Bertha OS, or is it going to be the Steelhead XR? So it's a quite similar clubs here. I'd say that maybe the XR Steelhead leans slightly towards the lower handicap of those, whereas your Big Bertha OS are really like your super game improvement. But I play f17. I've no idea which of these are going to work best for me at all. I like the idea of the Big Bertha OS, just nice and oversized, friendly, easy to use, and the XR Steelhead, I feel like I'm going to get similar performance with just in a maybe just a slightly more compact look with the iron and also the hybrid. So I'm going to hit a number of shots with both 7 irons, with both hybrids, and kind of draw some conclusions about which ones for me might be working best. So let's kick off with the Big Bertha OS. So really what you've got here from Callaway, as I mentioned before, is just their absolute super game improvement iron. It's a massive head cavity back iron, which almost to me looks like it's designed and is probably going to play almost more like a wood with the way this club has been designed. It's pretty large. So let's hit a few 7 irons. See, I'd be expecting 7 iron for me, carry 145. It's a sort of, you know, so it's like a 150 club for me. Looking at that address, it just looks massive, and you know, that is a top line that is probably going to be a little bit too big for some people, but these clubs aren't about really looking nice, they're about helping people perform. So that was a bit of a loosener, that's what I'm calling it anyway. But what you'd expect from these clubs is plenty of forgiveness. Like I say, I'm liking that nice high ball flight. It does seem to fly off the face. Carry 147, so I'm getting up more towards the sort of numbers that I'd want to see. Yeah, launch nice and high, really easy to hit. Yeah, like I say, come off the face, nice and hot. Yeah, so some pretty decent carry from those. Okay, so moving on to the Steelhead XR. I do prefer the design of this club, just from sort of like a shelf appeal point of view. Just doesn't look quite as game improvement-y there as the Bertha OS, but behind the ball, they're very similar in size actually. Still got a fairly thick top line. Nice feel off the face. Don't feel like they're pinging quite as much off the face as the Berthas. Yeah, both of these irons fly quite high. Very high. So there's some good, decent carry on that for me, 156. Look, quite a bit further actually than what I'm used to with my current irons. Quite good fun to hit though. You know, they are really just shooting straight up in the air, which I think for what, you know, for who they're aimed at, maybe for people that don't get a lot of height, that could be exactly what they're looking for. I think after a while, you know, you can really have quite a lot of fun with these clubs. Okay, I'm going to move on to the hybrids. Okay, so just moving on to the hybrids then. Now I'm going to start off with the Big Bertha OS again. Fully adjustable hybrid this. You know, you can put it into a draw setting if you like. You can take a little bit of loft off if you need, or add a little bit of loft. So it's a cool looking club. Again, set it down behind the ball, and it's kind of everything that you'd expect from that sort of game improvement club. It's, you know, it's big, it's oversized, just looks really easy to hit, which again, for the people that it's aimed at, I think that's exactly what they want. It just flies off the face really nicely. So you carry 203. Yeah, for me, for a 3 hybrid, I'm maybe expecting a total 200, maybe it's sort of like carry more like 190. So yeah, carry 203. That's more than, you know, what I'm used to with a hybrid. So I can definitely manage with a bit of extra distance. Yeah, it's like super easy to hit. Really feel it flying off that face. Yeah, 205. Really liking that. See, and I'm really feeling like, you know, I'm over swinging it a little bit there, but I'm really feeling like I can go after it and, you know, swing at it quite hard, because the club's got so much forgiveness, and it's just, you know, such an appealing club to look at address. It's, you know, it's nice and large, and that's why, say, probably sort of chasing after silly numbers a little bit now, but just because it's you know, it's really good fun to hit. You get that nice feel off the face. Really nice feel off that face. Just feels like the ball's absolutely flying off. I think a lot of people are gonna have a lot of fun hitting that hybrid. So let's move on to the XR. So we've got a slightly different design, different shape, still quite large, not quite as large as the Bertha. We've got the you know, the sort of the Callaway aerodynamics on the crown there. You know, just to aim it. They help with your alignment, and they're just aimed at making the club a little bit more aerodynamic coming through the air. It's actually on the Steelhead XR. They've actually got some of those lines in a grey colour, which makes it look a little bit busier, but again, it helps frame the ball actually quite nicely. So again, you'd think that these are aimed more at just ever so slightly better players to the Bertha OS, but let's see how they get on. That's a little bit of a pull, but it's right out the middle and felt really good. So yeah, carry 203, so it's sort of up there with what we were seeing from the Bertha. Yeah, similar ball flight, similar shot shape for me, which is just that fade, which I'm used to. Yeah, not quite getting up there with the Bertha yet. Yeah, it feels nice off the face. If anything, I'm just feeling like the ones that I don't quite catch out of the middle with the XR, not performing as well as they were with the Bertha. Again, though, I still just felt with the Bertha, I got to a point where I just almost felt like I couldn't miss with it, and I just gained a lot of confidence, and I just don't quite have that with this one. But still easy to use, feels nice, just not quite as lively as the Bertha so far. Right, let's have a look at some of those numbers. Okay, so let's just have a look back at some of those 7-9 numbers there. We had the Big Bertha OS first, and then moving into the Steelhead XR. You know, really looking at this data, and just from what I hit there, I just didn't really feel like there was a massive difference between the two. Got carry on the Big Bertha OS averaging 148, total 156. Steelhead XR carry 145, total 152. So there's nothing really in that makes me think one's necessarily performing for me better than the other. All the numbers are there or thereabouts. And there was a variety of strikes there. There was quite a few miss hits, and I think what is quite interesting to see there is that even those miss hits, like the like worst one, sort of like carrying like 138, so even on a miss hit, it's an expectant sort of 150 shot, and a miss hit's gone like 140. So I think that's pretty good. There's a definite amount of forgiveness on these clubs, which is what you'd expect really from those sort of large cavity back style heads. So if I was going to make a choice between the two, looking at the performance, I think I'll probably just then go down to what I like the look, sound and feel of the most. And for me, that Steelhead XR, just sort of in the bag on the shelf, it just looks a little bit smarter to me. I think I'd be leaning towards the Steelhead XR there, but really not a lot to split them in terms of their performance. So let's move on and just have a look at the hybrid numbers. Okay, so looking back at these hybrid numbers, I was really impressed with both of these clubs actually, because before I was thinking 3 hybrid, sometimes thinking more like 190 sort of like club for me. But what I instantly found, particularly with the Big Bertha OS, I was carrying it over 200 yards, which was really pleasing to me actually. Just if I can get a few extra yards out of my 19-degree hybrid, I'm all up for that. So comparing the two, again, similar to the irons, not a lot in it, very similar performance, but I did just find that with the Bertha OS that it was just that little bit easier just to, gave you a lot of confidence with that nice big head shape, and it just really felt like you could, swing through the ball, and it was going to be quite difficult to miss. And we've seen that from the results there slightly, that I did just feel that with the Steelhead XR, my misses weren't quite as good as the misses with the Big Bertha OS, but like I say, carry there with the Big Bertha OS, it's carrying 200, total 212, and there with the Steelhead XR, I've got a really good carry there of like 196 and a total 210. So in terms of distance, I wouldn't really say that one's like longer than the other. It's really about, this is a sort of club to me that how does it make you feel behind the ball, how confident are you with it, and how well does it perform on your miss hits. And for me, it was slightly in favour of the Big Bertha OS. It is a super easy club to hit, and I know they're aimed at high handicappers, but even if you're maybe sort of 10, 11, 12 handicap, and you just want a club that's just super easy to hit, going to get sort of 200 yard-ish sort of carry, I think it's something you should think about. There can be a lot of snobbery in golf, just thinking because it's an oversized club, it's aimed at the super game improvement market, but golf's supposed to be fun. Why would you make the game more difficult for yourself? Clubs like this, like the Big Bertha OS, they make it a hell of a lot easier, and it's and for me, I think I'm actually definitely going to put one of these two clubs in the bag. I'm leaning towards the Big Bertha OS, because if I can guarantee that I'm going to get that 200 yard carry every time, that's potentially going to help me shoot lower scores on the golf course. It means that if I'm faced with that 200, 210 yard shot, it's a par 4, maybe I've got a shot, I might just be tempted to lay up, but when I've got that, I'm going to be tempted to go for the green in 2. Far much more confident with a club like this than I would be maybe with a 4-wood or a 5-wood, hitting it off, whether it's off the fairway or whether it's just sitting in the first cut of rough. So really impressive performance there from all the irons and the hybrids. I think these clubs are doing exactly what they're supposed to do. They're distance clubs. They're supposed to add a little bit of different distance. I've experienced that with the irons and the hybrids, going further than what the current clubs that I am using. So it's given me a bit of food for thought about those clubs that I'm using, and these hybrids for sure. I think one of those two are going to be finding their way into my bag. So I hope you've found that interesting. If you're unsure whether or not Bertha OS or Steelhead XR was the way to go for you, and my summary is that the performance is very similar, so maybe just go on the looks and the feel and what fills you with most confidence at address. So post any questions below if you've got any comments about these clubs. We can go to Callaway and ask if there's any other questions. If you want to know anything about the lofts or the shaft options that are available on these clubs, please just post a comment below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. But thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.
Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed those videos. These videos are shot down at Moor Allerton Golf Club. It's a beautiful 27-hole golf course here in Yorkshire. If you want to come and join us in the shack, come down. We can do lessons, we can do custom fitting. We've also got a lovely shop here, professional shop with lots of quality stock. If you can't get here, have a look on our website, jwgolf.co.uk. Lots of stock available on there. Or if you've got any questions and you want to just drop me an email, my email address is james@jwgolf.co.uk.